Nigel Farage launched his Brexit party on Friday to campaign Britons to support a clean break from the EU and to begin a political revolution in the UK. Mr. Farage wrote in The Telegraph ahead of today's launch of what was nothing short of a national humiliation suffered by the UK at the European Summit, where Prime Minister Theresa May secured yet another delay to Brexit to October 31, 2019, and lamented of the ineffectual lawmakers in the House of Commons. "I feel differently. We are a great nation and a great people. But we are being held back by weak leadership. The time to change this is now," Mr. Farage wrote. The Brexiteer, who campaigned for the UK to leave the EU for more than 2 decades, registered his party in February in preparation for the betrayal of Brexit, which would result in the UK needing to take part in European Parliament elections. "We see the next few weeks as the beginning of a fight back against an establishment that has willfully betrayed our trust," the MEP wrote. "This is the most ambitious project I have ever launched in my life. If, as I believe, the people want to change politics for good, I am going to give them the opportunity to make that happen," he added. Anti-establishment and Eurosceptic parties are set to make gains in the May 23 to 26 elections, with Open Europe commenting the drop in support for the Tories in a recent poll could be due to the rising popularity of the Brexit party. During the launch, Mr. Farage said, "What I am fighting for now is a democratic revolution in British politics," adding, "Our democratic decision is being willfully overturned in the country that once had the Mother of Parliaments." Mr. Farage introduced fellow Brexit Party candidates, notably the sister of Tory Brexiteer Jacob Rees-Mogg, Annunziata Rees-Mogg. Ms. Rees-Mogg said Britons must fight back to rescue British democracy, and show that people have a say in how this country is run. "Politicians are not our masters, but do our bidding." Teacher Dr. Alka Cuthbert likewise called for the redemocratization of British politics and has stood for MEP candidate to fight for democracy. "Since the referendum, we've seen even as an ideal that principle of democracy is so weak it doesn't even exist anymore," Dr. Cuthbert said, saying those institutional structures of democracy have been recast away from democratic principles to technocratic boundaries. MEP candidate June Mummery called for an end to the common fisheries policy, saying for the years that the UK has been throwing the jewels from the crown as Europeans continue to be allowed to fish in British waters. Businessman candidate Ben Habib calls it absolutely bonkers to take no deal off the table, saying that Parliament has condemned this country to unconditional surrender. While Richard Tice, chairman of the Brexit Party and founder of Leave Means Leave, says we cannot allow this shambles in Westminster to continue. "It's time we took on the establishment and the civil service to make British politics work for the people again," Mr. Tice said, warning that by the time Halloween comes around, the government will write another begging letter to the EU to delay Brexit even further.